What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Dudes Who Bet Daily here for July 9th, 2022. We've got Aaron Halterman. We've got Papa Dude. We've got Curtis Kalleward down there. Mr. Magic happening with us. More CFL action from him. Don't you worry. It's coming. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about horse racing, guys. We got a massive day from Belmont. We've got the Belmont Oaks, the Belmont Derby. Magic, we got a ton of international horses coming in here. And I know how much you have talked about these two races. Who are you most excited to see today shipping in from Europe?
Oh, most excited. I've got to go to Nation's Pride in the Belmont Derby. It's a horse that I bet in the Kazoo Derby, which is like their big race over a Great Britain for 3-year-olds on turf. So I love that horse in that race. He was up against it. We talked a lot about Desert Crown, the horse that won that. Is just if he was here, he'd be 1-9. I think we'd all be singling him very quickly in our multi-race wagers. So yeah, I'm excited about Nation's Pride. Aaron, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, Nation's Pride, very excited about. Concert Hall, the other horse in the Belmont Oaks, I'm very excited about. I'll talk about her a little bit later, so I won't spoil that one. But the good news is, we like Nation's Pride, right, in the Belmont Derby. Well, Stone Age is also really good, and they've shipped him over. I mean, there's multiple horses in these races today from overseas, and they're not the A-plus horses, but they're not the C or the D horses either, right? They're like the A-, B+, B types, and that's great to have them coming over here and competing in this big day of racing at Belmont.
And Stone Age is an interesting one, too, because a lot of the European horses that come over here, they don't have very much early turn of foot, so they're generally further back. Stone Age is going to be more forwardly placed. Emmanuel scratches out. That kind of takes away some of the speed. It looks like it's just Classic Causeway that's really going to be up front. Now you have Stone Age that should sit a really nice trip stalking outside. And that 13 post at Belmont going 1.25 miles, really not that big of an issue because you're able to make your own trip there if you have some tactical speed from the outside post. Papa Dude, did you look at these two races today?
You want me to lie?
Of course.
I mean, I can lie and tell you I've studied these closely and I know everything about it. But I just don't think I can do it because I don't have the horses in front of me. If I had it right here in front of me, I could lie like a dog, but I don't. So Aaron and I were discussing them the other day. That was Wednesday. It's a long time ago. I do remember talking about Nation's Pride because I know you guys know, I don't know anything about the European horses, don't care to. And so when he was telling me about that suddenly became my pick because I don't think that Derby's that strong anyway. I like Consumer Spending in the Oaks. I remember that one. So that's all I got, guys.
I love it. One of my questions was going to be, if the American horse wins today, who is it going to be? Papa Dude was going with Consumer Spending in these two races. Obviously, there was going to be some American horses winning, the Indiana Derby or the Iowa Derby, something like that today. Aaron, if the U.S. horse triumphs in one of these two grade ones at Belmont, who is it in which race?
It's funny because we're going to go to the same race here, but I'm on Hottie, the 3-horse. I really like Hottie for Chad Brown. Flavian Proud aboard. Last time out looked great in the Penn Oaks. This is a horse that almost won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf. Just couldn't quite get the job done. It was only coming off of a maiden win going into that race. So, yeah, I mean, Consumer Spending's pretty good. I like Hottie a little bit better. I know the bloodstock agent for this horse, and I also know one of the owners of this horse. He emailed me this morning. He was really pumped because he's also part of Jilted Bride's ownership group who won last night at Prairie Meadows. So he was pumped. I told him, listen, it's going to be a lot tougher tonight. He knows that, though. So, but I do like Hottie an awful lot. I thought that turn of foot was fantastic in the Penn Oaks at Penn National.
Magic, any shot for the U.S. contingent in these two?
Oh boy, definitely not in the Belmont Oaks. I'm not a big fan of the Chad Brown horses. I really like the Euros there. If you do want to go with an American horse, from a Chad Brown perspective, look out for Consumer Spending. She's third off the bench, third off the layoff. She was at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf after winning 2 straight races, including a stakes. She didn't get an ideal trip, which is, I think, outside of the top 4 in that race. I think you can say for everybody, but she rebounded well, has won 2 straight this year. And Manny Franco has been riding just absolutely wonderful for Chad Brown all year long. So I would expect to see that continue. And, he's been on this horse 3 times and she's won 3 times. I think you really can't discount that.
I'll actually go to the Derby. Give me limited liability. I've talked about this horse quite a bit over the last 2 months. Horse is going to took a big time step forward second out, and was the only horse who made up any ground against Emmanuel or Napoleonic War last time out. The speed was playing very good at Belmont at that time. Emmanuel goes wire to wire. Limited liability actually closed quite a bit of ground. Looked great in the seasonal debut. It's a really aggressive placement here. I'm kind of surprised we're in this race, and because of that, it actually gives me a little bit more confidence that he's going to run a big effort here. Sitting at 12-1, I'll take the 12 limited liability in the Belmont Derby. He's got a big shot. Now, Aaron, you kind of teased this a little bit. Where you're going with your pick. So let's jump into the bets here. I know you're going to head to Belmont, and I actually really like this one too. So tell us a little bit more about Concert Hall.
Yeah, I went ahead and made Concert Hall the pick today. I looked at a few baseball games, just couldn't quite get there. And I just, I thought, hey, this Concert Hall, I think, is a really, really nice horse. You look at what this horse has done the last 3 times in Group 1 company overseas, which is very, very difficult. Finished 3rd, beaten 6th, finished 4th, beaten 4.5, finished 5th, beaten 4. I'm telling you, that is going to translate big time over to this race today. I am afraid of the Chad Brown horses. I'm not like Magic. I like a couple of those horses a lot. I also really respect the number 4 With the Moonlight, a horse I know that Magic put on top. I just believe Concert Hall is just going to be a bit better than the rest of these. I think she's going to outclass this group. I think she gets it done, and I like that price of 3-1. I don't know if we'll get that, but I think we will get a pretty solid price on her.
I bet you're going to get around 2-1, somewhere in that range, which I think is really good value. I love a baseball game today, which is wild because I don't usually really love a baseball game. We'll get into that in a second. But if anyone had taken my baseball game, I was going to play Concert Hall as well. So I like using the 10 here. I think this is one of the better bets on the card today over at Belmont. Before we get into some baseball, let's head back north of the border here. Magic wearing his Lions jersey, but heading up to the CFL. Magic, tell us a little bit more about the British Columbia
Lions.
There we go. Oh, hey, it fits. Perfect.
All right, Mike needs some more coffee, so I'll take a little longer time here so we can go get another cup. Listen, first off, I do want to say a bonus bet here. If you like to play overs, the BC Lions are on an 8-1 run with the overs right now, and I'm seeing 48 right now in the market, so betting over 48. These are 2 teams with some pretty explosive offenses, but different ways. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, they're defending Grey Cup champions. They've won it 2 of the last 3 years. But for me, the big difference here is the Lions, they've outscored their opponents by 88 points in 3 games. The Bombers have only done it by 22 points in 4 games. And a lot of that reason is the BC Lions have a quarterback named Nate Rourke, who back in June broke all the CFL single game records for passing yards and passing touchdowns in a single game. On top of that, he's in the top 5 rushing, and he's not even the top rusher on the team. They got a guy named Butler who's averaging 70 yards a game. Rourke's averaging 60. So I think that a lot of it's going to be about clock control, time management. And I think the BC Lions, at -2.5. It opened at -4. They were expecting a lot more action to come in on the Lions, and that line really plummeted because you have 2 undefeated teams, and one of them is the undefeated defending champions. So I'm going to ride with the BC Lions -2.5, and if you like the over 48 looks pretty good as well.
What time is this game tonight, Magic?
Listen, I've got an alarm set for it because we've got so much football happening, but let me take a look here. It is happening at 7 Eastern. So 7 Eastern for you, 6 o'clock for Aaron Halterman on ESPN News if you want to watch it.
I know we did have some ESPN News watchers last night for the unfortunate loss there where Ottawa just couldn't get enough points in the board to cover the 7. But I think 3 of the 4 of us watched at least part of that game, which is kind of wild. Just shows you how dedicated we are here. I'm going to head over to baseball. Look, I love the Cleveland Guardians today. And this is really a play with the pitchers. They lost yesterday to Kansas City. I think they're going to be able to rebound today. Kansas City throwing out someone with a 4.76 ERA. Tristan McKenzie's going for Cleveland. And this is really, to me, the big part of this. Going into, so he was a highly touted prospect for Cleveland and was pitching very well this year. So he struggled a little bit in June. He gave up 8 homers in 3 games, and those 3 games resulted in 16 of his earned runs of the 21 in that month. But specifically, if you look at the last 2 against Minnesota, he went into the game on 6/22, June 22nd, with a 2.96 ERA. He faced Minnesota twice and gave up 13 earned runs in 10 innings in those 2 games. His ERA ballooned all the way up to 4.03. He then faced the Yankees and shut them out for 7 innings. He has a Minnesota problem, not a pitching problem. And that's the key for me here. His ERA literally ballooned over a full point. If you take those 2 games out, he's got a sub 2.7 ERA right now. And you're paying only -131 against a Kansas City team that he should be able to absolutely mow down with a Cleveland offense that should be able to hit Kansas City's pitcher. So give me the Guardians -131 today. Trust in Tristan McKenzie. Papa Dude, playing a favorite of ours here. It seems like we're using them every day.
That's right.
They kill us every day.
Well, they kill you.
That's fair.
You had them a day too soon. in my opinion. I don't love this one today. I do like yours a lot, Mike. I thought about picking that one too a lot because I do think the pitching matchup's not even close.
Mhm.
So the Phillies and the Cardinals, the Phillies got them last night and beat Aaron, I think. I don't really like the Philly pitcher today, and I don't like the way he pitches on the road. He's been horrible on the road. He's been pretty good at home. Kyle Gibson, 4-3, 4.91 ERA, giving up 18 earned runs in the last 27 innings. That's not good. But when you look at the Cardinal pitcher, he's even been worse, which bothers me a little bit. Dakota Hudson goes for the Cardinals tonight. His record 6-5, ERA 4.29. He's a little bit like what Mike was talking about. He's pitched some good ball because he's given up 20 runs in his last 25 in the third innings, and his ERA is only 4.29. So he had been pitching well before that. The key for me today is he's 4-1 in St. Louis. And the Cardinals are not playing well. They need a win. Aaron went that route last night, and they didn't come through for him. Philadelphia's playing pretty well, and they're pretty good. I think the Cardinals are going to go. I'm going on that home field thing with the pitcher for the Cardinals. And I like the line we're getting there, -115. We can make some money on this. And I think the Cardinals will bounce out of it today and beat the Phillies.
And just to kind of piggyback on that, Kyle Gibson on the road, 0-2 this year with a 6.34 ERA. So has struggled a lot on the road. Hopefully he blows up there and we get the Cardinals home for a nice victory. Before we jump into the final bets here, Aaron, do you have anyone else? I know you talked about a couple horses up in Indiana that you liked. I've got a horse I really like as well I want to mention. So you want to kick us off here?
Let me do two things real quick. I want to shout out Dan here. We give him a lot of crap in the fantasy league. He hit a nice baseball parlay last night, almost $3,000 on a $50 bet. So shout out to Dan. We were sweating out those games.
Go.
Yeah, that was awesome. We were sweating out those games together last night. He needed the under for the Cleveland Royals game, and it got close, but he got it. Yeah, let's talk about racing, though. And to answer your question, I am really excited to see what Conager does tonight in the Iowa Derby. He's the 5-horse. It'll be race 8. It'll be at 10 o'clock Eastern time, so almost 9 o'clock here, or 9 o'clock Central time, I should say. Listen, the horse has been absolutely fantastic in 2 races. His last 2 races have just been great. He beat Gunite by 5.5 lengths. That horse came back, obviously, to win. Not last time out at Churchill Downs. Gunite's a grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old. Going to stretch out in distance for the first time. This is a really good time to try it, though. I don't think this field's great. So the 5-horse in the 8th race at Prairie Meadows tonight is one I am super excited to see how he does.
And I don't usually look at Delaware, but tournaments are the early tournaments are Delaware. So I looked at the second at Delaware, and there is a second-time starter that I think is awfully live, sitting at 7-2 on the board right now in Delaware's second race. The 5-horse, All About Me. If you go back and you watch the trip, the 5 made the lead, got cut off by the 7, had to check back and then move around. And a first-time starter trying to check back and then move around a horse usually fails. Couldn't change leads down the stretch. Just struggled with it. Today, should make the lead. Should go gate to wire. 7-2 on the board. I'm going to be playing this horse at anything over 7-5 because I think that he is that big of a standout in that spot.
We've got All About Me on top in that second race at Delaware as well. So we're in agreement on that one.
Just a little random one there. Magic, did you have any spot plays today at any of the tracks? I know we talked about Belmont quite a bit. You did blinkers off today. Anyone that you liked?
Not really that are going to be super big prices that got me super excited. You have one horse that scratched out of the victory ride in race 8 at Belmont today, Stand Up Comic, which there's a lot of speed in there. I don't know that helps the 7 Sterling Silver, who's really good against New York breds, but has been pretty bad against Open. So a horse that I would use underneath there. But listen, I'm excited for the Belmont Derby, the Belmont Oaks. Whenever they send over these Euros, it's unbelievable. And remember, Aidan O'Brien did this with Athena, won it 10-1. I still can't believe that. I went back and looked it up because I remember being a big odds. So I'm just excited. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully the turf is in great condition at Belmont Park, and everybody can make some money in time for the BC Lions tonight at 7 Eastern.
Just compress your BC Lions bet. That's what we're looking for. Hey, there actually was some rain yesterday at Belmont, which softened the turf up a little bit. Should help the Euros somewhat as long as it doesn't harden up back before today. So without further ado, let's jump into the bets here. Went 2-2 yesterday. Got the over here, and I think Papa Dude got the Rangers home. Cardinals couldn't score for Aaron, and unfortunately Ottawa couldn't score for Magic, but we're right back at it. Still up a unit for the week here. Aaron's going to kick us off. Belmont race 7. He's taking the 10. Concert Hall at 3-1. Papa Dude headed back to the St. Louis and taking the Cardinals -115. I'm going to play the Cleveland Guardians. Still not used to that. -131. And Magic is going to play the British Columbia Lions. -2.5 later tonight. Catch that game on ESPN News. Do not miss it. It'll be wildly exciting. Lots of third down punts. I'm telling you. Lots of third down punts. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We will be back tomorrow with the final Dudes Who Bet Sport or Dudes Who Bet Daily of the week at noon. Have a good one. Good luck today.